What's the point of doing anything? What's the point of living? There have been times in my life where it didn't feel like anything was really worth doing. Nothing would satisfy me or bring me happiness. Life could feel so dark and empty. It's also easy to feel hopeless when we look at the news. The issues that we face don't seem to be getting any better, but only worse, and our problems seem insurmountable and overwhelming. Climate change, increasing political and social division, the pandemic, ongoing war, a struggling economy, serious financial hardship, loneliness, economic and social injustice, rising rates of mental health problems, and mass shootings. The list just goes on and on and on with no end in sight. The world is in a tough spot. The situation looks bleak. The future feels uncertain, and there seems to be no one to guide us, no one to show us the way. What should we do? How can we resist falling into total despair? When I feel like this, I've come to realize that my soul needs to be nourished. I need to be fed spiritually, to be reminded of what's eternal. We neglect this fundamental human need. We know that we need sleep, water, food, etc., but we don't think intentionally enough about how to fill our lives with a sense of meaning and purpose, how to fill our lives with spiritual depth, with an inner richness, with love. I think this is what we're really searching for when we scroll endlessly on social media, when we look desperately to watch something on Netflix. On the surface, it looks like we're just looking for entertainment. But really, I think that what we're searching for is a fullness to our lives, something to make that feeling of emptiness go away for a little bit, to feel alive in some small way. But entertainment rarely provides the sense of depth and meaning that we truly seek. Usually we just forget our lives for a little while. What then will give us what we're seeking? For me, I need to be reminded in various ways that beauty, truth, and goodness do exist in the world. Jack Kornfield points out that the news doesn't report the thousands of acts of kindness, compassion, and generosity that occur all over the world every day. The tired single mothers fixing meals for their children, the nurses and doctors who save lives every day, the teachers who go out of their way for their students. All of these things aren't reported in the news, but there are so many good people in the world that we will never hear about. When the world starts to look ugly to me, I simply start looking for beauty to fill my heart with. I see it in the trees, in the calm of twilight when everything is bathed in golden light, in the innocence of my children, in the food I'm blessed to have for dinner, and that I even have a family to sit with at dinner. The beauty is in good poetry and music. It's in time spent with good friends. And it's in my intention to live with beauty, hope, and love. If the world is on the path to hell, all I can do is resolve to live with as much beauty and goodness as I know how. Because that's what I believe in and what I value. What do you value? We can all choose to contribute to the beauty of the world instead of its ugliness. When someone flips you off on the road, instead of responding with a fuck you, you can respond with a blessing. It's not good to go around the world feeling like everyone is a jerk, like nobody cares. Everyone is a human being just like you, with fears, hopes, dreams, frustrations, and the simple need to be loved. When we look past the jaded shells on the surface, when we look for the light in others, we have the chance to make the world a better place simply by seeing and acknowledging that light in others. The world is a garden. Everywhere, and within everyone, and within ourselves, there are seeds. Seeds of hatred, greed, violence, fear, despair, cruelty, but there are also seeds of love, compassion, peace, calmness, respect, dignity, mindfulness, kindness, generosity. Each day, some of these seeds get watered more than others. They get watered by the way that we think, what we choose to watch and read, how we choose to spend our days, and how we react. Be intentional about which seeds you water. Will living with more kindness and compassion really change anything? Will it make a difference? Maybe, maybe not. But it feels right to me. It makes me feel better about life, even if things look bleak otherwise. Thomas Merton writes, "Do not depend on the hope of results. You may have to face the fact that your work will be apparently worthless and achieve no result at all, if not perhaps results opposite to what you expect." As you get used to this idea, you start more and more to concentrate not on the results, but on the value, the rightness, and the truth of the work itself. What do you value? What do you care about? What do you believe in? What do you want to see more of in the world? Well, then like Gandhi said, be the change. You be the one to bring that into the world, even if it's just a little bit more beauty, a little bit more kindness than was here before. You can be one less person that makes the world a shitty place, and instead be one more person that reminds others that there are good people in the world. A final point that I want to make is that when we get caught in despair, it can be really easy to feel convinced that there is just no way out, no way that things can get better, no way that things can be fixed. This is always a lie. Despair collapses our world so that it feels small and hopeless. Wade Davis said that despair is an insult to the imagination. The reality is that limitless possibilities exist, and we are part of something incredible. We are survivors. More than 10,000 years ago, your ancestors fought to survive. They braved the harshest conditions. They wandered from place to place, hunting and gathering. They lived under the threat of being eaten alive by wild animals. They endured flood and famine. They had no modern medicines, and yet they fought to survive. It is because they survived that you are here today. Countless generations passed, hundreds of years, thousands of years. People worked to improve their lives one small step at a time. They learned how to grow food, how to make fire, how to brew beer and wine, how to build things. They learned to travel across the oceans. They learned to navigate using the stars. Each generation fought to survive, to evolve, and now you are here. You have inherited the work of thousands of generations, people who have worked to advance every field from agriculture to transportation to art to medicine, technology. You are part of this. Here you sit at the head of all of this with GPS, satellites, iPhones, computers, modern medicine, with limitless access to knowledge and wisdom. This is your inheritance. The world brought you into being to be the recipient of all of this. And now you're just going to give up in despair? Of course not. Jack Kornfield writes, "Feel the survival of 1,000 years of ancestors in your muscles, in your blood. You have all the support you need in your bones. The same strength that was in them is in you. You can do this." In winter, everything seems dead and frozen, but life is there, just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to burst forth. Every spring, life does its thing. There is an eternal renewal that happens, that is trustworthy, that is unstoppable. That is the nature of life, and that same life force is within you, ready to overcome all odds. The poet Pablo Neruda writes, "You can cut all the flowers, but you cannot stop spring from coming." Don't forget that the next time that your mind tries to trick you and tries to convince you that the situation is hopeless. You may not be able to see the way forward right now, but trust that there is indeed a way forward, and that you have the capacity and the strength to walk it. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if so, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.